Yes. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So I want to explain a concept to you. And this has come to my understanding as a result of growing and evolving as a Theta healer and then moving into coaching and my own personal development that I've been doing over the last 23 years of my life. Is healing has its place there in terms of going back into the past and identifying why the trauma occurred so that you can come to a place of one, understanding the blessing in the lesson. That's the actual healing. The healing occurs when you become aware of the blessing in the lesson. Every negative situation happens for some reason. Your soul chose some sort of difficult path for a reason. There's a reason behind that. And your soul wanted to learn lessons. And so as we incarnate on the physical, we experience the polarity, dark, light, happiness, grief, right? Sadness, joy, experience the polarity of that experience. And so when we incarnate through certain experiences, we're learning lessons. And Varna says, during this process of learning lessons, we attain virtues. The virtue of forgiveness, tolerance, benevolence, kindness, generosity, right? We attain virtues. And as we attain virtues, we begin our ascension process. We evolve as a soul. So we're having a human experience. So a spiritual being having a physical experience, learning lessons on the 3D reality through the interaction of other souls in physical form, and we're learning virtues through those experiences. So it's the blessing in the lessons. It's not necessarily finding the bottom belief, right? But when you identify all the kickbacks, that's when you get a permanent healing. How's it serving the person to hold on to that? Because you're not holding on to the belief of I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough for any bad reason. It's serving you in some way. A limiting belief like that, why would you hold on to a limiting belief like I'm not good enough, I'm useless, I'm nothing? Why would you hold on to that? It makes no logical sense. You're getting something from it. And in the instance of today's class of you and your significant other, it's like, well, if I hold on to the belief that I'm not good enough, then I stay small, I stay invisible, I stay single, then nobody can hurt me. So you have this belief that I have to be unworthy so that I can stay single, so that I can be safe. There's your kickback. There's your secondary gain. That's why you're holding on to the belief. So as you start to collapse all those secondary gains, you're releasing the corrupted programs, because you're somewhere your brain has made an incorrect anchor thinking, if I'm nothing, that means I get to be alone. That means I get to be safe. It's an incorrect anchor. You get to be safe no matter what. When you decide you are safe, you are safe. You don't need to hold on to belief of believing that you are nothing or worthless or not lovable or not pretty enough or not good enough. You don't need to hold on to that to be safe. You get to be safe. And now we put in the feeling work. What does it feel like to be safe in a relationship? What does it feel like to be safe as a woman walking down the street at night? What does that feel like? Because as women, from a very young age, we are coded in by collective consciousness, coded in by our mothers, our fathers, or because you are in the physical form of the female, somehow you are not safe. That somehow it's dangerous for you. Don't dress like that. Don't put on that makeup. Don't behave like that. You're asking for it. Really? Is that God's truth? Is that God's truth? That simply because we're in the physical form of the female and we walk down a particular road at a particular time, that somehow automatically we are not safe. It's dangerous. Right? We're told, oh, boys are only after one thing. Really? Is that true? Every single man is after just sex with you? Is that God's truth? Now, if that's what you're being programmed with, that's what you're going to believe, and that's what you're going to manifest. And then you're wondering why you're attracting all the men that just want to sleep with you, but don't want to commit a relationship. It's because you got coded in at a very young age, got handed down from generation to generation. Grandmothers to mothers, mothers to daughters, that this is what's to be expected if you are in the female form. But it's not God's truth. And so when we start to do the healing work, and this is why I said healing has its place, to decode yourself of corrupted programs that are sitting in the collective consciousness on this planet right now, through generations and generations, whether it's your core belief program, you as a child growing up, a little girl, whether it's your genetic program that you got from your ancestors, right? Ancestral programming, whether it's past life stuff from previous traumatic experiences in other incarnations, past and future, or whether it's even beliefs of the soul, of the feminine aspect, right? We collapse those so that we shift our frequency, we shift our vibration. Because remember, at its purest form, we are vibration, purest form. We are just light, right? Beyond the physical body, beyond the cells, beyond the molecules, beyond the atoms, to the pure energy, it's vibration, it's frequency. And we have a unique frequency out in the universe. And so that frequency gets corrupted through the programs, through the belief systems. And so when you are born, and you're born down a lineage, if you will, with that lineage comes all the belief systems of all your ancestors down that lineage. And you chose that lineage for so many gifts and talents that you will use in this incarnation. The gift and talent of being the healer or the nurturer or the artist or the scientist. You chose that DNA coding so that you could fulfill your mission, your divine timing. But with it also comes corrupted programs. So this is the place for healing. Healing is to collapse all those corrupted programs. It's like a cleaning, if you will. You're cleaning the corrupted programs so that you and your future generations don't have to carry the codes. The work I do for me in every single class, I do it for me and my children and my future generations. My daughter got so much of the good stuff from me when she was in my womb. And she also will never have to deal with the stuff that I had to deal with because I've cleared it from me, so she won't have to. I'm cleaning the future generations. Now, obviously, she has her free will. She can go off and have her own experiences and create new traumatic experiences and create new corrupted beliefs. You know, she's exposed to the media, right? She can pick up limiting beliefs from TikTok and Instagram and everything else. Like, that is her free will. She's a soul having a human experience. She's on her own journey. But my task is to clean me. Yeah. So that I'm not a vibrational match to the things that I don't want, and to be a vibrational match for the things I do want. That's what I see as healing and the place for healing. Here's the danger of healing: permanent therapy. When someone stays in permanent therapy and they don't take the action, they keep digging, digging, digging. Why haven't I got the soulmate? Why is he not here yet? Why am I still single? Digging, digging, digging. Why can't I be happy in this relationship? It's always his fault. He's always doing this. The mother-in-law does this. Right? He's always doing this. Why is this happening to me? Dig, 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 dig. Right? Or the woman who's divorced and can't find another soulmate, believes that's it, her last chance of happiness. Dig, dig, dig. Why am I still single? Why can't I find another husband? And I promise you, you can dig for 1,000,000 years and find 1,000,001 reasons for why you are single, why you haven't got the soulmate, why you attract certain types of men or certain types of partners. Because what you look for, you will find. That's the danger. If you keep digging and digging up the past over and over and over again, you will find 1,000,001 reasons for why you haven't got the money, why you haven't got the soulmate, why you haven't got the health. And so sometimes I see this in my classes with students who come from class to class to class, and they're in that victim story, and it serves them because then they don't have to move. They don't have to shift. They don't have to make the change, because somewhere they've learned to stay in that energy, in that victim energy, because they get stuff from that. There's kickbacks for staying in the victim mode. They get the free classes. They stay broke, so they get free scholarships. They stay in struggle, so people are nicer and kinder to them. They stay sick, so they can get sympathy. It becomes incredibly dangerous. And I've seen this multiple times where the student dies. Their disease kills them. This is where it becomes incredibly dangerous, that in permanent therapy, they use that as a reason to stay stuck, and they never get the soulmate. They never get to have the baby. They never get to live their dream life. They stay sick, or worse, they die. And yes, that's their soul's journey. That's not something I can control. But this comes as like a warning of the dangers of staying in permanent therapy and not taking the actions, not making the moves, using the excuse of, oh, I just need to clear more stuff, then I get to just clear more stuff, and then I'll get to have it. Now you're making like, I have to heal this thing in order to get to receive. No, you get to receive no matter what. You do the healing as a way to cleanse your energy, to shift your frequency, to shift your point of attraction, but you still get to receive no matter what. When you ask, it is given. When you ask, it is yours. Immediately, it's yours. The only resistance is you. And so you clear the beliefs, clear resistance. But the next piece is to receive, to actually receive. The receiving might be the inspired idea to go out to that coffee shop, and not your usual coffee shop, a different coffee shop. And you just trust that internal guidance. And voila, you meet the soulmate. Right? You get the internal guidance that you should stop eating a particular food. You stop eating that particular food, your IBS stops, and then your body heals. Because all disease begins in the gut. You get the internal guidance to speak to a friend. You phone up the friend, you get talking, and she tells you about this wealth manager she's just found, who's helped her get out of debt and helped her start saving money. She passes you his details, you speak to him. He shows you the numbers, that if you continue down your existing path, where your finances will be. He shows you what happens if you save just 10%, and how that can compound over a lifetime. And when it's invested with interest, how much more it can compound. And now you're excited about saving 10%, and you can be a millionaire by the time you're 45. So how do these things happen? These synchronicities, they happen all the time. Miracles are meant to be a daily occurrence. It's you in the receiving, saying, yes, okay, I'm receiving. If I'm receiving and I'm expecting it's mine, assuming that it's mine, law of assumption, assuming it's mine. Nothing you need to be, do, in order to have. I just get to receive, it's mine. And so the moment you decide it's yours, your frequency changes. The moment you decide it's yours, the universe is rearranging itself to bring you the thing. The moment you decide it's yours, you get like inspired guidance. And sometimes the inspired guidance is a little scary. It may push you out of your comfort zone. But you trust, you listen to the whispers of your soul and the creator, and you take the action. Even though it makes no logical sense sometimes. No logical sense. But you do the thing, and then you're like, oh, now I understand why that needed to happen, because it led to this, to then receiving my outcome in the most easiest way. Because the creator is not trying to overcomplicate your manifestation receiving process. The human does that. The human has like the 12-step plan to achieving the outcome and the goal. The creator is like, you just get to have. It's yours. It's the quantum leap. You step from one reality to another, and it's yours. You're assuming it's yours, it's done, and you receive. And you're this new identity, the new identity of the person that already has the soulmate that she truly desires. He is here now. He exists. What does it feel like to have that person in your life right now? With all the rules you wrote down earlier. What are my rules for the kind of relationship I would like to have? Committed, honest, loving, effective communicator, non-smoker, whatever your rules were, your non-negotiables. And then it's yours. And then the most amazing things start to happen. The universe is rearranging itself. And then the soulmate shows up and you're like, oh my God, this was so easy. It was so easy. It was so effortless. The law of least resistance or least effort. Birds don't struggle to fly, they just fly. Grass is not struggling to grow, it just grows. When the rain falls down the mountain, it's not struggling to go down the mountain. It just flows. That's the law of least resistance. So when you are in your flow, in that, following that law of least resistance, surrendering, right? This feeling of like the surrender. It's the exhale. It's the letting go. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. When you let go and surrender, that's you actually receiving. Surrendering. And that surrendering is that you have to show up somewhere at a particular time because it intersects with where your future soulmate will be. And that's where you'll be because you trusted those whispers, that internal guidance. And it's very subtle. Like it's not like a booming voice from the heavens. It's like this subtle voice that says, go, do this, rest, take care of yourself, go here, speak to this person. It's like in the words of Esther Hicks or Abraham, she says, follow your bliss, follow your bliss. Well, we know bliss on the map of consciousness is a very high frequency. It's above joy. Follow your bliss. So when you're in your energy of bliss, following what makes you happy, then that's you receiving. That's you in the active participation of receiving. I'm following my bliss. And if what feels good to me right now is to have a beautiful bubble bath with candles, even if it's a Sunday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's too early for a bath. If that's the bliss, you follow the bliss and you do the thing. Right? If it means going out for a walk, you go out for a walk, and you're in that park, and he's there. Of all the parks, and you've been that park many times, but it was going to that park that time because you listened to the guidance, and the intersection occurs, that synchronicity occurs because you followed your bliss. But stop making manifestation hard. It's actually very easy. The resistance is the resistance we create. The stories of like, I can't have my soulmate because I haven't healed all my beliefs yet. Versus, I get to do my healings, I get to work on myself, and I still get to receive. It's both at the same time. Not one equals the other. This creates the resistance in itself. Right? You do the healing, you do the cleaning to cleanse your energy, to raise your frequency, to raise your point of attraction. Right? You're magnifying the truth of who you are. And you get to receive no matter what. The two aren't linked. Don't link the two. That if I do this healing, if I release this trauma, then I get to receive. Right? We've got no rules about receiving oxygen. You just get to breathe. It's not, I have to be worthy. I have to release all my limiting beliefs to do with. No, you just get to breathe. You're not doubting that there's no oxygen tomorrow. You're not feeling greedy or selfish that you're taking 10 breaths, stealing it from somebody else. We haven't got those programs. They don't exist. We've got so many programs around receiving a soulmate or being in a happy marriage. Oh, marriage is hard. Marriage is difficult. Oh, you'll go through many difficult challenges that you have to overcome. Oh, raising kids is difficult. It's hard. Right? We're literally coded in with corrupted programs about love, intimacy, sex, marriage, children. What if none of that was true? So that's why you come to class. That's why you do the healing, to clean all those corrupted programs. And you get to receive no matter what. But your task of the receiving is the action. Sometimes the action is in the letting go and surrendering and trusting that it's going to arrive. The action is, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to receive. It's going to show up. I'm waiting. There's nothing to be doing, just in the energy of receiving, the energy of letting go and surrendering and trusting that my soulmate is going to find me. My manifestation is going to come to me. Sometimes the soulmate action is to go out to dinner with your friends and he's sitting at the other end of the table. Sometimes the action is to have that uncomfortable conversation with your husband to discuss the new rules, things that have been happening in the relationship that have been making you feel disrespected, taken for granted, unhappy. It may be things that you said that you wish you could take back, but you can't, and you're asking for forgiveness. Maybe you're apologizing for something that has really weighed heavily on your heart and you need to get it off your chest, ask for forgiveness. The uncomfortable conversation may be the soul-aligned action that starts to open up the doors. Forgiveness is a powerful path to manifestation, actually. Powerful. Because when we forgive, we let go. In the letting go, we make more space to receive. Yeah. So the soul-aligned action is the receiving. It may be uncomfortable. It may be scary. It'll move you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it's not the easy thing, but you know it's the right thing. It's the right thing to do. Sometimes it will just be the letting go and the relaxing and the resting, and to be in the energy of the receptivity, to receive, to allow, instead of pushing and forcing and making things happen. Hustle and the grind. Because what you resist, persists. Right? You're pushing, 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 you'll always be pushing. If you're convincing, you'll always be convincing. Yeah. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I just want to be very clear, like the healing has its place. It's a powerful tool to release those childhood traumas, those wounds, you know, abuse, hurt, pain, because all of that is carried in your energetic field. And when you let it go, you're making space for more light to come in. You are accessing the truest version of you. Right? The letting go feels good. When it becomes toxic is when we stay in permanent therapy. We stay in the victim mode. We stay in all the reasons for why we're still stuck. We're looking for more reasons why our stuff hasn't shown up. And if you're looking, digging for all the reasons why the soulmate is not here, you will keep finding them for years and years and years to come, because you always get what you're looking for. So the digging technique I absolutely love, which I would like you to use this morning, is not like, oh, why haven't I got the soulmate yet? Why haven't I got the marriage yet? Why is he not respecting me? Why is he taking me for granted? That's not the digging I want you to do today. The digging technique I want you to do this morning is the manifestation digging technique. This is my big dream. This was your homework last night, writing the big dream of the deepest desires for what relationship you want, the big dream. Okay, what's my fear to actually having it? Why would I not want this dream? What? Because me and my dream, the resistance is me. Some part of me is rejecting God's abundance. What is it within me that is scared to actually have this amazing relationship? This fantastic marriage that makes me feel so loved and adored and treated like a queen, where I am the queen, he is my king, and we do life together, where life is beautiful, that together as we grow older, as we age, that the passion and the attraction is still there, that it's just like in our first years when we're in that honeymoon period, that the affection and the intimacy is better than ever, that the sex keeps getting better, that the deepening of that love becomes even deeper, that when we connect on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that together we grow and evolve rather than growing apart, that together we build empires, right? Build big dreams, whether it's building a new home, moving to a new city, starting a family, helping our children to grow and evolve to become amazing humans. That's what I mean by empires. What's the resistance to actually having that? Why would I be scared to have that? Yeah. Clear it, and then ask the divine, what's my action step? What's my moves? Could be the one thing that you do, 2 or 3 things. And it won't be, I promise you, it won't be more digging, more healing. The soul-aligned action will be, have that uncomfortable conversation with your partner. Tell him, her, they, how you feel. Be honest and speak from your heart, not from like attacking, you're doing this to me. When you do this, you make me feel like this. No, you speak from your heart. And God will give you the exact words to say in that conversation, because you have the outcome in mind, the desired outcome. So you go into that conversation with the desired outcome. You're taking whatever action you're taking, the soul-aligned action, with the desired outcome in mind, not what you're fearing is going to happen, but what the desired outcome is going to be. So if you're fearing he's going to get upset and start lashing out and start getting into blame, then of course you are right. Wonderful manifestation. You manifested an argument because that was your intention. Your fear was, if I say this, we're going to get into an argument and we'll break up and that'll be the end of it. Well, that's a manifestation. But if you go in, okay, the desired outcome is that we improve our marriage, that we have these conversations, that we can both share how we feel and what we're both desiring and how we see this relationship going forward in the future, what we're wanting to create together for the future instead of drifting apart. My intention is this is a loving, honest, safe conversation, that it's a win-win for everyone, that he gets to feel heard and understood and acknowledged, and I get to feel heard, understood, and acknowledged, that we can both share how we feel so we can move forward to the next stage of our relationship, to deepen our love. And then you go into that uncomfortable conversation with that intention of the highest and best outcome, and literally God will give you the words to say, and the most amazing, profound conversation will open up between you and him. And he'll say to you, thank you so much for sharing this with me. That you had the courage to say what you needed to say. That gave me the courage to say what I needed to say. You've given that man permission to open up his emotional intelligence, to start to begin to process what he's been feeling, but has been unable to communicate. He didn't have the words until you created that sacred space for him to do so. Instead of going in with judgment and attack, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, you're not living up to my standards, when you say this, it's your fault. No. You go in with an open heart for the highest and best outcome. And then in that beautiful feminine energy, when you go in that beautiful feminine nurturing energy, in that the power of that softness, this power, great power in that soft energy of the feminine, that beautiful held nurturing space that actually gives space for a man to access his heart, because he's no longer feeling like he has to be the man, to be tough, to like handle whatever you're going to say to him so he can prove that he's man enough and strong enough, that he has got it all together. Because men don't like to be told like they're doing things wrong. They want to feel like they've got everything under control. But when you're going with this soft, powerful, potent energy of sacred space, he feels held in that. He can relax. He can drop in to his soul, into his heart. And then that stream of consciousness goes from his heart, from his throat chakra, and he begins sharing things that perhaps he's never shared with you before. Perhaps with no one, not even his mother. For the first time in his life, he's able to express his fears of the relationship, his hopes, his dreams, his desires, his yearnings. And then from there, the game plan will evolve. And you'll come to agreements, new rules for that relationship. And that might be date night once a week. Once a week, you're not mummy and daddy, you're husband and wife, lovers. You decide a minimum of once a month or once every 2 months, a weekend away, without the kids. Your mother-in-law can take care of the kids, and you guys connect. Well, you're not talking about the kids, you're not talking about the house, you're not talking about the business. You're talking about each other, getting to know each other again, deepening that relationship. You're in the receiving of the manifestation by taking the soul-aligned action. This is why this piece of meat has to get into action. That's the last piece of the healing. Getting off your ass and taking the action, but the soul-aligned action. It could be the easy thing. It could be the difficult thing. It could be the thing that you know you must be doing, but you're not doing because you're waiting till you get in the mood. I'm not in the mood. You get yourself in the mood. You decide. Now is the time. So the only resistance to the receiving is you and the stories you've been telling yourself. I have to heal this before I get to receive. No, you get to receive no matter what. I have to wait for the plans to be in alignment before I take the action. No, you take the action. It's not my divine timing yet. No, the time is now. When you hear the desire coming from God through you, that means it's now. It's now. You make the move now. That's why you get the idea in that moment. You get the idea in that moment, then you make the move. You take the action. The soul-aligned action. And you're like, oh, but and I don't know what the soul-aligned action is. You do. You do. Stop telling yourself that you don't know. Because if you keep saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, it's a manifestation. You're literally denying the truth from yourself. The truth is that you do know. Be available to know. So you connect to the Creator, you go into meditation, you drop into your heart, say, okay, what if I did know? What if I did know? What is the move? What is the move right now? What is soul, God, spirit guiding me to do in this moment? What is this moment for? The information comes through, and then you make the move. There and then. And when you're making the move, it's you accepting and receiving the manifestation. And I promise you, it will not be more digging, more healing, lighting the green candle, sitting on your yoga mat, chanting mantras. It will be none of that. Those are all tools, right? But the manifestation, the receiving of that manifestation, it's going to be date night. It's going to be going out meeting people. It's going to be picking up the phone. It's going to be leaving your house to meet other humans. Right? We're not an island. And the most beautiful synchronicities will start to occur like magic, because you're just in the law of least resistance. You're surrendering to the will of God to work through you, and you're at the right place at the right time, and magic unfolds. And it'll be even more beautiful than you even imagined. You're like, oh my God, like, how did this happen? I've been trying to manifest this Soulmate for decades, and like, he's here. Oh my God, it was so easy. What? You're like, you're going to be in awe at how easy it was. And it came out of nowhere. And it was like, oh my God, how random. But it'll come in such a way that you're like, I couldn't even have thought that it would happen like this. Because you let go of making it complicated. You let go of forcing it. You let go of all the reasons why you can't have him or her. Because you get to have that person no matter what. They're yours. When you ask, it is given. And so it is.